Warrior, this is the 23rd day of 31 days of advocacy. January is National Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Month. Although we put a lot of focus this first month of the new year, 2025, on raising awareness, on educating you, on giving you take actions and resources to focus on this crime of slavery. Yes, at the Warriors, I'm calling it slavery because that is a much more descriptive word than trafficking. So I'll use them interchangeably, but I want to call it slavery, this enslavement of people here in the United States. We know what happens across the globe. I want to focus right here where we need it because it is happening and escalating in every town, city, and rural area in America. Thank you for joining us. First of all, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit the little like button. Make sure, if you're so inclined, subscribing is free. I want to build into the 10,000 subscriber range so that we can get into that new super highway on YouTube, which will allow more of our videos to be shared, more of the information to get out there into the public, and also more in the rotations on YouTube. So let's do it. Join me, because our hashtag, after all, is Community Creates Change. And I am so set. This is the year. We are going to be working extensively on legislation, helping survivors, preventing new victims, and helping you deal with all of this overwhelming information and also what's happening, because it changes on a dime every second. I am here to say today that I'm very happy. Happy is not even the right word. So I'll say, well, I'm going to say I am happy that just yesterday it was announced the Laken Riley Act has passed, this piece of legislation requiring. We have algorithms here on YouTube, so I'll skirt around things. Please read between the lines and don't be annoyed or anything. It's just the way it goes these days. But Congress has passed the Laken Riley Act requiring undocumented immigrants who are arrested for theft or violent crimes to be held in jail pending trial. Now, I'm here in New York City. Undoubtedly, you heard about sanctuary cities, what's going on. People were doing all kinds of illegal things and not being held responsible. Well, the Laken Riley Act will now hold them responsible. It is now going to the desk of President Donald Trump for a final signature to be enacted officially into law. But we can pretty much say that it is happening. Now, I will say also, I want to tell you about the vote by the House. 263 voted for it. 156 voted against it. All I'm going to say about this, and I want you all to do a little homework. I like to give you these nuggets every day this month where you can research more, or I'll put something in the body of the video I want you to read. I really want you to vet things and learn how to do that. After all, with the advent of AI, where is that artificial intelligence describing things or writing for us, or that we're all beginning to use on a daily basis? Where is that information coming from? Make sure it's the information you want out there. It's the correct information. It's your way of thinking, right? Don't just bet anything on AI written is how you want it to sound or your thoughts, because that's the scary part with all of that. But 156 voted against the Laken Riley Act. This was a young nursing student who was viciously attacked by an illegal immigrant, rumored to be part of, and we never really got the full story, ties to the violent gang Tren de Aragua out of Venezuela, and went out for her morning jog and never returned. And you know, and I know, there are lots of stories like that. I can't help but ask, why are people fighting so hard for people to remain in this country or not to be held responsible, no accountability, crimes against Americans? Why would people fight so hard for that? Why aren't they fighting that hard for our children, for any of this abuse, exploitation that, as I'm sitting here talking to you, is just escalating? We can't even keep up with the numbers. And you know what? We don't even know the numbers. We just know it's nonstop and escalating at untold amounts, whether it's online or real time. I have to wonder why. I mean, don't you? People wouldn't want to fight against this, fight against people who just broke into our country. We want people to come here. That is what our country is made of, but you must come here legally through the correct channels and adapt our American way of life and add to our culture, add to our society, but not criminals. Criminals, look at what our children are watching and hearing. It's unbelievable. But let's talk about the Laken Riley Act, because it will be the first piece of legislation that President Trump it's anticipated he will be signing. She was going Laken Riley. She was jogging through a wooded area of the University of Georgia campus, and just her roommate said she just did not return. And the Laken Riley Act last year was approved by the Republican-held House, but was not taken up in time at the Democratic-controlled Senate. So here you go. Everything is kind of weaponized. We just have to look at the reality of it. We did push very hard during what's called the lame duck session. That is when a new president is the president-elect, so that would be Donald Trump for November 6th, up until he actually takes office. And at the inauguration, which is January 20th, they call it lame duck. So everybody tries to get all of their pieces of legislation. Remember here, we talk about the Kids Online Safety Act extensively for 3 years now. Tried to push that in, Laken Riley Act, to get it through. Didn't happen. And that means you have to start from the bottom all over again. The Laken Riley Act, though, they did their work. And it is going to be passed. It also empowers, there were some slight changes to the bill. It also requires, I want you to hear what this is, the Department of Homeland Security to detain migrants if they are charged with certain criminal offenses. We talked about this, including theft, shoplifting, burglary, assault against law enforcement, or any crimes that result in serious bodily injury of another person or the ultimate crime against one. And I'm not going to say the word, you know what that word is. It also empowers the attorneys general of states to sue the federal government if their residents feel they have been harmed by national immigration policies. Well, I'm not sure I am agreeing with that one, but we're going to leave it because overall the bill is needed. It does not come with any kind of new funding for immigration control measures, but you know what? When I have to hear some people in the Senate criticize the bill as an unfair crackdown on suspects who have not yet been found guilty of a specific crime, well, excuse me, if they are undocumented migrants, that is already supposed to be a crime in America. You broke into our country, you're not here legally. So, you know what? I don't know who these people are who don't want to protect Americans, who don't want to protect our children, our girls and women, boys and men, who don't want good people. I'm sure there's a lot of them that want to come to our country because you and me would want to come here too if we were in some horrible place and we wanted to make money and have a better life for our kids. But you know what? You got to come here the right way. We can't afford our country to take care of the world. Things have to be done correctly. So for today, it is good news, the Laken Riley Act. I'll keep you apprised of what's going on with this. I want you to be aware at all times of what is going on. Keep your eye on the ball. Just understand a couple of things. I leave you with urging you to always talk openly and honestly with your children. A lot's going on. Let them hear the information from you, not from, as we used to say, some strangers on the playground or friends on the playground. They have devices. They have phones, laptops, Chromebooks, gaming. They're hearing and seeing things. Let the information be correct. Please honor our Warriors hashtag, which is Community Creates Change. We firmly believe that while I fight it out in our state capital of Albany or on the federal level in Washington, D.C., you need to do your part in your home, in your community. But love one another, share facts, not fears, and we can do this. Stay positive, stay in the lane of being truthful. Don't, as I always tell family members of mine, don't let anybody live rent-free in your brain. And keep forging ahead, because that is the warrior's way. And when you wake up each and every day, sorry about that, I didn't turn the bell off. When you wake up each and every day, go out and indeed be a warrior. Thanks.